Now the website danchoo.com, how did that come about?
So that basically started as me wanting to share my life in Japan. So if you go to my website, you can see there's lots of photos of like daily life in Japan. So obviously I take photos of like touristy places, but I want to share what life is like daily life is like in Japan. So I would tell people what it's like to, how to get a driver's license, like how to buy a house, what getting a health test is like, going to the post office, recycling your rubbish, like going to IKEA, buying a car. So things like that, not many people can like write about in detail, and that's what I feel is special about the content, because there are lots of people around the world who want to know what it's like to live in Japan.
So that's how it started,
yes,
the website.
That's right, that's right.
And today?
So today is pretty much the same. So there's lots of like life in Japan. There's lots of Japanese pop culture as well, lots of anime culture, lots of dolls. And also because I get to travel around to various anime-related events in the world, I also get to show people around the world what other places are like.
It became a pretty popular website. Did you expect that?
I didn't really. I mean, all I'm doing is just basically like just sharing what I love.
Maybe it's because you write in English as well. Do you think that is why?
Yeah, I think English does reach out to a wide audience, but I also write my posts in Japanese, so I have like a following in Japan as well, and it's also written in Spanish, Chinese, and French as well.
You also host a TV show called Culture Japan.
That's right, that's right.
What is the show about?
So Culture Japan is basically an extension of my website. So for my website, I talk about many different Japanese concepts through photos and through text, but you can only do that to a certain extent. So through video, I can express much more than just like a photo. So that's why the TV show came about, and it enables me to express and show much more of the feeling and atmosphere of a particular space and time to the viewer around the world. Where are we? The scenery.
And is it aired only in Japan?
No, it's not. So it's aired in Japan, it's aired across America and across Asia as well. So it's broadcast in Thailand as well.
Now, what are the collaborations that you have right now with the Japanese government?
So I have been, I think it's last year. Yes, last year, earlier on last year. So METI, which is the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, that's right. So they appointed me as a creative director for one of their projects, for one of their Cool Japan projects, basically. So I've been consulting with METI on like many Cool Japan initiatives. So sometimes they would have an event in like Singapore, basically, so like a Cool Japan forum, and where we would bring along some producers who produce content, and they get to share the insights on how to spread Cool Japan around the world. So I help with that. I help with them do some like market research and consulting, and so on and so on.
What is Cool Japan Project?
So Cool Japan Project is very similar to what they had in the UK. So in the UK, they had Cool Britannia. So Cool Britannia was everything English is cool, like tea, Big Ben, River Thames, Buckingham Palace, and so on and so on. So Cool Japan is very similar. So things like anime, manga, so content, but not just content. There's lots of industry as well, which is Cool Japan. So there's food, there is like apparel industry. There's lots of traditional Japan as well, like Japanese instruments. So all of these concepts and ideas and tradition all roll together to appeal to the rest of the world, like how cool Japan is.
Is this Cool Japan project meant to counter the rise of Korea? Because over the past couple of years, they've been very successful in exporting, promoting their pop culture.
To be honest, whenever there's a Cool Japan meeting in Japan, they always mention Korea. They always mention Korea. I personally don't feel they need to mention Korea. I think what Japan needs to do is like focus on their own content, but they really need to pay more attention to and start understanding the importance of sharing. So I speak Korean and I love Korean content as well. And I know most of the moves for the Gangnam Style dance. And I think Korea, they do very well in sharing their content. So for example, if you have like a K-pop video, the makers, they would share that video online in full HD resolution. And they let you take that video and make adaptations of that word. So Gangnam Style, they uploaded the full HD video, and lots of people adapted that video and they shared it on YouTube. And it became, I think that helped it become viral. In Japan, they upload a very small version of the video, maybe a few seconds. If you try to adapt it, they will delete it from your account. I've seen fans, they've made Facebook fan pages of like Japanese singers to help spread Cool Japan. And then the record label will contact them and say, please delete this page. So
and what's the reason?
One of the reasons is they're just like very protective of the content basically, and they're just overly protective of their content. And another thing is that, so I've been speaking to like many TV stations like around the world, and they tell me that Japanese content is much more expensive than Korean content basically.
Price is an issue.
Yeah, so the price is an issue as well. So price is an issue, and I think Japan needs to be a bit more focused long term on the industry rather than making some quick money short term. So they have to do better at sharing actually.
You are helping Japan to spread its culture. Do you feel strange being a foreigner doing so?
I think that, I do it because I love the culture. And lately I've been very appreciative that without this culture, I wouldn't have met so many people around the world. So without me being interested in Japanese culture, I wouldn't have met my wife as well. So my wife, she's actually from Shanghai. And because of my interest in Japanese culture, I wanted to speak Japanese, so I worked in a Japanese restaurant part-time, and that's where I met my wife basically. But that's only because of my interest in Japanese culture. And without this culture, I wouldn't have hired many different people. So through this culture, I've identified lots of talents around the world as well, and I've hired them as well. So going back to your question, do I feel strange? I don't feel strange. I think that as a foreigner, many foreigners relate to me because I'm a foreigner in Japan talking about Japanese culture. If I was a Japanese person saying how great my country was, how great my traditions are, it may sound a little bit more strange for a Japanese person to do it. So I think it's very natural as a foreigner in Japan to talk about Japanese culture and share that with my colleague foreigners around the world.